Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Full Time Ultras. My name's Aditya, and a couple of weeks ago, I was on the right end of this, but what goes around comes around, and it's come around in quite horrific fashion for me. So I'm joined by Raghu, our resident Arsenal fan, who's probably over the moon after that result. And regrettably for me, we're going to break down Arsenal 5, Chelsea nil.
What is it?
Well,
What?
initial thoughts about the game, Raghu.
Yeah, I
Must be
mean,
pleased with that.
definitely. It given, I mean, where Chelsea were in the first half, I think it was pretty much game on. It could have been anyone's game. It was just a one goal lead. But
Yeah.
pretty pleased by how we played overall, especially the second half. And I think it's easy for. I mean, we were the favorites going into the
Yes.
the game. Of course, home game, and then the form we were in lately.
Yeah.
Like at least after that Aston Villa loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think super happy with how we've performed and put this game to bed.
Yeah. You mentioned form, and like y'all weren't in great. I feel like we almost came into this picture with better form, but talking
Yeah,
about form, our informed player was absent from the start. He's not even in the squad. Obviously, Cole Palmer is who we are talking about, and Pochettino. Basically, in the press conference before the game, he challenged the Chelsea players by saying this is Chelsea FC and not Cole Palmer FC, and it's up to the players to show that. Regrettably, that's become meme material now
yeah,
because, I mean, in his absence, we looked absolutely lost. But to be fair, I don't know how much he could have done to prevent that 4 goals in 18 minutes barrage in the second half. But yeah, and especially the way we started the first 8 minutes, I thought this is looking bad because I think y'all were all over us in that first 10 minutes. The crowd was very loud, and y'all got a very early goal as well. But I thought it was going to be a bad result at that point. But as you said, we kind of stabilized in the first half and absolute capitulation in the second half. So I don't know what to say about that, to be honest. But
yeah.
let's just start at the beginning. Let's start like, Arsenal were absolutely honest in that first 8 to 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
what a very early goal. What did you make of that? It was interesting to see Party and Rice start together. That kind of helped.
Yes. Yes, and to be honest, it was surprising. I thought he would maybe go with Jorginho and try something that maybe we have tried before. I
Yeah,
think Partey started against Luton, but it was with Smith Rowe and Odegaard in the midfield,
yeah,
sort of three in the midfield, and we are trying a few things out,
yeah,
and that worked against Luton. It was quite surprising that he went with Partey and Rice. But to be honest, I think that did work in this game. I won't know if this would work for other games or going forward, if this
yeah,
could be a lethal combination which we'll get to see more of as Arsenal fans. But for this particular game, it did work because Partey was giving us that ground where, like, there were games where I've seen Declan Rice play alongside Saliba, right? Or
yeah,
alongside Gabriel. So he
yeah,
didn't have to drop in so deep. So he could drive the ball forward and put more pressure on the attacking side of things. And Partey was sort of managing things in his like when he was driving forward. So I think that combination really played out well. And uh, going back to what you mentioned, Trossard first goal amazing, just quick in settling down and getting that first goal. It was far from over at that point, but it was amazing that
yeah,
Trossard again made the most of the start that he got. He has been impressive coming off the bench, and I think even in the first leg, he scored the equalizer right in the last, I
yeah,
think, 10 minutes or so. So
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
and even there, Apu, like, what I want to get into is that even if we compare the first Chelsea game, like at Stamford Bridge, you guys
yeah,
had a two-goal lead,
yeah,
I think, going into the first half. So What do you make of Chelsea defensively?
Honestly, I was surprised to see the lineup itself because he started with Alfie Gilchrist as right back, Nisasi and Badiashile. I thought Chalobah should have started this game. I mean, no disrespect to Gilchrist, but this is as big of a test as you can get in the Premier League to have,
Uh,
one of the best attacks, probably the best attack in the Premier League this year to face on your first start in the Premier League. That's just an insane test, an insane challenge. And on top of that, you all were just pulling us apart because both Modric and Madueke were just not helping out. And you could see throughout the game that Modric was just anonymous throughout the game. I did not know where he was, why he was where he was at given points in the game. And that put a huge burden on Kukure as well. And he did admirably well against Saka. But obviously, you had three players overloading that side. You had the first goal comes from Declan Rice and Trossard overloading Alfie Gilchrist's side. So it was just overloads everywhere. And I don't know, like we have a lot of issues defensively, players being pulled around all over the place. Um, and we seem not to have like a clear defensive structure. So it's tough right now to be a Chelsea fan. We used to be scoring, but even that's right up in the past two games.
right. And yeah,
Um, yeah, and like so, I like another point I actually noted about that first goal was, and again, he had a really good game, unfortunately, against us. Um, Kai Havertz dropping in that dragged Enzo Fernandez across that allowed Rice to be free in that move. How big of an impact has Havertz had in especially in the second half of the season?
yeah, I mean, massive in terms of in his first season scoring, I think 10 plus goals now.
Yeah,
And we are, I think, yet to see more of him to come. I don't think this is his peak. I don't want to believe that. But I think he's done phenomenally well in terms of what he is the positioning. So he was doubted so much when in the first half of the season. Again, he had his own moments of glory, but he was doubted and his presence was questioned.
yeah,
But I think he's come around pretty well, and yeah, and getting two goals against Chelsea, celebrating as well. uh, and yeah, that was great to watch. But
yeah,
going back to what you mentioned, I think we also were there not so long ago, right? And I wouldn't say we're now
yeah.
winning titles yet. We're not there, but I think it takes a while for the squad to set in. Probably. What do you
Yeah, of
make of
course, like
that when you
obviously.
see the current Chelsea side? Just sort of drawing back on how do you deal with this as a Chelsea fan, and how do you think Chelsea should be dealing with this? What do you make of the squad?
I think you put it well. I've always been saying that, look at Arsenal where they were 2, 3 years ago, back to back eighth place finishes, and now, they've gone eighth to fifth to second to again in a title race, which is looking like it's at least going till game week 36, if not all the way till the end. And this is the kind of, and they're playing really good football as well. So I feel like a degree of patience is required with respect to well what we're seeing. And I know there's a lot of calls for Pochettino out, but I just think it's a very young squad. We need to be a bit more patient with respect to we can't be sacking managers and starting the same cycle again. So I just have some patience. This is our reality for now. It'll take a few seasons, maybe 2, 3 seasons for us to get going. Sure, we need to see improvements and we need to have a bit of smart recruitment. But yeah, I think patience, I keep repeating it, but patience is key.
Right, and
Um,
Sorry, I'm just
Yeah,
curious on what you mentioned. Do you think Pochettino is the man who's going to do it?
I see. I'm not going to say 100% he is the man, but
Yeah,
he could be the man. Given time, he could be the man. And I think we've gone through enough cycles of, oh, this is not working. Quick, change the manager. And it's got to a point where we are now stuck in mid-table mediocrity. So I think it's best to give this man some time to just build something, especially given like you can't even blame Poch entirely for this. The number of injuries we've had, like, is insane. Like key players, Nkunku out, Reece James out, Ben Chilwell's been in and out of the squad.
yeah.
Lavia hasn't played what he's played 32 minutes all season. So, and that's just to name a few of them. So I think it'll just take time, and I think we should give Poch a bit more time.
Nice. Okay. Well then, on just to cover what's next, right? Immediately for Chelsea from here. Um, what do you think is, of course, European sport. Pochettino spoke about that in, I think, the post-match
Yeah.
interview as well. What do you make of that?
Um, it's still there. It's all still all to play for. But our next two games are Villa away and Spurs at home. So I don't know which Chelsea side is going to turn up. If Cole Palmer shows up, then we might have a chance. If this side shows up, I don't see much hope because this was embarrassing, especially that four goals in 18 minutes spell. Absolutely horrific, shambolic defending. I don't know what more to say about it. It's like
Yeah,
everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And in Arsenal, we had a team, a well-oiled machine, which was ready to punish us at every opportunity. Um, and speaking of that machine, I just wanted to touch on another really, really important performer for you last night. Your captain, Martin Odegaard, who's been phenomenal for you, and especially the past few games where it's like he just seems to make things happen all the time, seemingly out of nothing. His assist for Havertz for the third goal was
what a
such
ball!
a good pass.
What an assist!
Yeah.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
what do you have to say about Martin Odegaard, your captain?
Uh, I really feel proud that he was given the armband a few years ago and trusted with this huge task. Even in tough times, like he faced the press within the team. He's keeping everyone together, and I don't why he's the captain. I think we have a lot of good leaders in the squad, right? Like talk about Declan Rice, talk about Jorginho, experienced
Yep.
players as well,
Yes.
who show up, and you have Zinchenko who's won the Premier League and brings in that experience. So I think it all
Yep.
comes together really well, and sort of Odegaard is the icing on the cake, who just keeps everything together. And like as an individual, his performance really speaks, right? Those twists and turns.
Yep.
As a midfielder, those are things to die for. The way he controls the game, and I really see him going great places. Hopefully, that is with us. He's still early on in his career, so
Yep.
super impressive. Yeah, couldn't be happier with his performance last night and overall how he has sort of evolved. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. But obviously, this is like I know it's a big result, but this is obviously not the end for y'all.
Yeah.
You must be hoping that he can lead you to the promised land for the first time in 20 years.
Yes.
What do you make of your upcoming? Because you all have Spurs away and United away coming up. So, what do you make of your title chances here?
Yes. Two of those big games, and I'm also. I think we after we lost to Bayern, and we had, I think, the pre-game meetings and press conferences before playing Wolves. Thing really, Rice also mentioned that that was spot on, that we have all to play for and each game is a final, right? So yes,
Yeah,
Tottenham is tricky. United down the line is going to be tricky, and it's funny that the third side of London is deciding the title this season in a way, in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I just want us to repeat this magic in the North London derby coming up this weekend,
yeah.
and just take it one game at a time and really see what we can do, because I really think we did give up a lot when we lost against Villa at home, but again now we're in a spot where we're dependent on someone else to bottle it. So
Yeah, and that's someone being the mighty City, who look a bit vulnerable this season. You never know. You never know. But yeah, I think just last we forgot to mention him earlier, but Kai Havertz got 2 goals. Someone else got 2 goals as well. Ben White.
Ben White, man, that
Did
was
you
the
did you
how,
expect
yeah,
that?
I didn't expect that at all, and more importantly, it was like you mentioned, and everything that could go wrong against Chelsea went wrong. Similarly, I think
Yeah.
we also got lucky, right? Like it was just
Oh
probably
yeah.
his
That
day. It
yeah.
was crosses converting themselves into goals.
Yeah.
I don't know how that
Yeah. He
happens,
didn't
but
mean that at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, pretty happy. Like at the end, 3 points. The score, of course, is nice for banter, but really happy with the
Yeah.
3 points that we got, and
Yeah.
Ben White contributing was impressive.
Yep. And the score being final also helps your goal difference against that of City and Liverpool.
Yes, we were I think leading goal difference anyway, by a good margin,
Yeah.
thanks
But
to all those
yeah.
4-0, 6-0 games, but it extends
Yeah.
it even further, right?
Exactly.
Going to be, think it's going to be super exciting overall. Uh,
Yeah. For
let's
sure.
hope, let's hope Tottenham does something to
Do
stop
you all a
City
favor? Yeah.
and do us a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would be a tricky decision even for them
Yeah.
to do you all a favor, or to
Do y'all
just.
play? Then
But
if they're playing you as well, then even your
yeah,
European
yeah,
spot depends on.
yeah. Oh, it's all to play for. I think the gaps are super tight still.
Yeah.
From Spurs have a 10-point advantage over United, but then they play Arsenal, City, Liverpool. So it's still fifth spot is still up for grabs, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Thing
But anyway, yeah.
on that note, I just want to say that London is red for now, but football is winning,
Emphatically for
because
yeah,
we just have the most exciting set of game weeks coming up in the Premier League,
yeah,
that we've seen in a long, long time.
yeah, yep, that's
Cool.
true. Drive a dagger through my heart, which is what you all did last night, and this is what Chelsea did last night. But yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to, obviously, and the title race is still, raging. Arsenal obviously lead the table, but City do have 2 games in hand and could go top if they win those 2 games. We'll obviously be here to, follow and recap all of that. So please do follow us. Please share our videos, like our videos, subscribe to the channel. And that's been our brief but very painful conversation about Chelsea versus Arsenal. Painful for me, obviously. Happy for Raghu.
Yeah.
We'll take your leave now.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.